G'day everyone, and welcome to this week's tip. Today we're going to be talking about chipping. Here we are at Blackheath Golf Community Club with a standard little chip downhill. The pin's about 40 feet away. A little bit of fringe to carry before we hit the green and let the ball run down to the hole. So what we want to do, fairly neutral stance is important in chipping. You see a lot of actions where we lean a long way left, which can also get us a little steep at times. So feet maybe just inside shoulder width apart, ball in the middle of our stance. We can stay up the full length of the grip or go down to the bottom or somewhere in between. This is just very personal and feel. There's no right or wrong here. So wherever it feels most comfortable, that's the place to grab this shot. So once we're into our setup position here, weight 50-50. Look, it may slightly favour the left side, but not by much. And then all we want here is a very simple, take the club back with the hands and arms type motion. Very, very simple. Don't try and make this too difficult by adding wrist or lifting that club up. We simply take the club back as we would in any of our golf shots. And now from here is where the big difference comes to what I see most players chip. Instead of swinging back through with their arms and their body remaining very face onto that chip, from this position here, all we want to do is turn our hips and body and let those bring the club back to the ball, not the arms. So instead of here and back this way, here, turn the hips, let ourselves swing through. Now what that'll do, that'll get a nice little amount of shaft lean for us coming into the golf ball. And if we continue to turn, it'll stop us from swinging down and digging into the ground too far. We want to catch the ball at the bottom of a fairly shallow type arc. We don't want to be getting too steep and dig in. We can get the little flub shot. Or conversely, we don't want to try and help that ball up into the air and get that club coming up and off the ground quickly, which we often see with people who get frightened of chipping. We'll often see the players get back, try and scoop that ball into the air, break this left wrist, no body turn, and often the ball's just going to scoot along the ground into the bunker the other side. So it's a very simple setup. Chipping is quite simple. There's not too much moving. Very straightforward little golf shot. Just requires the right action, and then from there, as your confidence grows, you'll find that you start to enjoy your chipping and can become quite good at it. For the standard chip shot, I'd like to see most players use their sand iron or their 60-degree wedge. 60-degree wedge just giving us a little more loft, land a bit softer, give us a few more options. Too often people will grab their pitching wedge when they come to the standard chip shot, believing a sand wedge is only for the bunker, which is very untrue. Sand wedge has got a little more bounce, which can help in certain conditions, and a little more loft, which will often make that ball spin a little more or land a little softer for us. So sand iron, or if you've got a 60-degree or lob wedge, grab that one. What we're trying to achieve in our standard little chip shot is a simple action that's very, very repeatable, and it will allow us to get quite proficient at chipping. So the less things to move, like all things in the golf swing, the less things we move on the way back, the less things we have to move on the way through. So we just naturally become more consistent. So again, from setup, just take that club back, basically just with the arms and hands, and from here, little pivot through with the hips, turn through, the hands aren't running wildly at the hole, rolling, or cupping under. It's a very, very straightforward, simple motion that will result in reliable chipping. I hope these chipping tips have helped you. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.